In this video, I'm going to show you how to get started using the NotaryGadget app. So it's pretty straightforward, but I'm just going to kind of touch on some of the highlights. And then you're going to see a bunch of links to click on for videos and also these little orange helper bubbles that we have that kind of walk you through and point out important things inside of the software. But when you first log in, you're going to land on the home page. The home page is just designed to give you kind of a 40,000 foot view of your notary world. And in here, you're just going to see some quick stats up here. And then the big thing here is these orange pills, if you will. Yours are going to all be gray because when they're gray, that means nothing needs to be done. When it's orange, that means that there's something that needs to be completed, some sort of a task. So in this particular case, this means I have 22 signings where I have not sent invoices for. I have 84 where I have not entered in my mileage, and then 85 where I have not entered in my notarial acts, so on and so forth. So that just kind of gives you a quick heads up. You can click on these pills here, if you will, and it will take you to the signings that need to have that task completed. But the bulk of your time is actually going to be spent on the signings page. And the signings page is where you go to basically manage everything about all of your signings. So a couple things to point out here. You click the plus button to enter in a new signing. Even better than that, we actually have an importer, and what you can do is you can forward your order confirmation emails to automation@notarygadget.com, and the system will automatically import your signings for you into the system. So you should have to do very little, if any, data entry. But when you do, what happens is it queues them up under that button there, and then when you want to convert it to a signing, you just click import, and then it automatically fills in all of the information from the signing in here, and then all you've got to do is select the few options that you have and then click save. And we have another video that explains all of that in detail. So another important thing to note here too is when the signing once you've entered in a signing, you're going to see these little icons up here. And these little icons represent tasks that need to be completed on a given signing. So when it's gray, that means it's either not required or it's already been completed. When it's orange, it means it's something that you have left to do. And you're going to see there's 4 basic ones. By default, we do not have the first one, which is determining whether the appointment has been confirmed or not. So if you want that task alert on, you can turn it on in the settings page, which I'll show you here in a minute. But then you have the envelope, which means an invoice has not been sent. The car, which is for mileage, has been entered. And then the notarial stamp, which is for entering your notarial acts. So all you have to do is simply click on that icon, and it will bring up the page for you to enter in those or complete that task. And then the whole idea is you basically work until these are gray, and that means you have everything that's done on the signing. And then when you get paid, you're going to click on the signing, and you're going to enter in the payment for that signing. Now, one other important thing to note here is these are filters that we have set up. So by default, when you go to the signings page after you first log in, it's going to be set to show orders from all customers and signings that are unpaid or have an alert. And what that means is obviously unpaid has not been paid for, or it has an alert, which means one of these orange icons or one of these icons up here are orange. That means that some sort of task has to be completed, because the whole concept of NotaryGadget is to keep you focused on only the signings where something needs to be done. Once you've completed everything that needs to be done and you've received payment for it, it's going to automatically disappear from this screen. If you want to come back and show it, you can simply click on that filter right there, and then you can choose any one of the filters in here, including the last one, which is all signings. So that's where you're going to go to manage signings page. Like I said, there's more videos and whatnot that you'll see along the way. The calendar page is kind of the same concept as the signing page. It just shows everything in a calendar view. Just makes it a little bit more friendly to work in sort of a calendar view style. So the customers page is a list of all of your customers. Now in NotaryGadget, your customer is always going to be the person or company who is paying you. So if you're using a platform like Signing Order or SnapDocs, that's actually not your customer. Your customer is the title or escrow or signing company that is using that platform to give you signings. So you'll have a list of them in here, and there's a bunch of things you can do with them as well. I won't go into too much detail with it here. You'll kind of discover that as you start to work inside the software. The expenses page, this is where you're going to go to enter in any sort of expense that is not related to a particular signing. If it's related to a particular signing, then you would enter it in on the signings page under that signing. But let's say, for example, that I went to Staples and I bought a printer. This is where you would put that in. And you would do that by clicking the menu icon and then you can either do a new expense. You can actually enter in other income here too, like miscellaneous, maybe interest from a savings account, or if you have, like you're doing DoorDash or something, you can enter it in there. And then you also have recurring expenses. So this is where you can set up recurring expenses, things that, an expense, say you have a cell phone bill that is the same every month. You can set it up in here and the system will automatically add it for you so you don't have to. And then you have the More button, which is going to give you a host of other options. Settings, this is where you can go to customize just about anything you want to inside a NotaryGadget. It's an extremely customizable software. So anytime you say, hey, I wish I could change something, or I want to set up a default, more than likely you'll find it on the settings page. My account's just going to have your email or your username and your password. That's where you're going to go to change that. The reports are predominantly, even though there's an option here, the reports option is actually really built to just say, hey, there's a ton of reports that are on the website. The app was only designed to be kind of a quick tool for you to use while you're in and out of signings and doing things while you're on the road. If you need to run reports and generate things for your taxes, all of that is going to be on the website under the reports tab there. And the last thing I want to mention is the help icon. So if you ever need help, click the help button, type in your question. As you start to type in question, you're going to see a bunch of lists. These are tons of videos and answers to common questions that we get. If you can't find your answer here, click the still need help, and then you can submit a support ticket to us. So hope you enjoy NotaryGadget. Thanks again for trying it out.